Hey guys, it's Wednesday. Let some people jump in here. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Hello. You guys know what we do on Wednesday. We have great conversations, unscripted conversations with moms that are doing amazing things and living in their truth. And today we have the beautiful Tami Latrell. I'm so excited. She's over here. She's working. Get some more people in here. Hey guys. So it was so important for me to have this conversation with Tami because the topic is something I definitely think that we need to touch on. So I came all the way from Cincinnati to come down here to Atlanta to have this conversation with her in person. And I'm going to kind of tell you guys why. So we had put a post on KONTROL's Instagram. It was a video about women basically saying that they don't need a man and why they feel that way. And Miss Tami, she jumped on and pretty much left a comment. And I loved her comment so much. It was so transparent, so honest. And I also felt like she was allowing herself to be vulnerable and to put why she maybe even felt that way in the past. And so I'm like, you know what? The fact that she was vulnerable enough to be honest with everybody, why not go ahead and just touch this subject? And so the topic is, for one, healing, because we all know that we need to heal some way, somehow. More importantly, why women say they don't need a man. Or some people say, I don't need a nigga, I don't need a man for nothing. And so definitely want to touch that. That's the main thing that I want to touch. And then just motherhood, of course, because let's just think if Miss Tami Latrell kept that same mindset, then that would have been something that she would have been pushing upon her daughter and not really giving her daughter the opportunity to have her own thought process and to, experience certain things in her life,
Very true.
That would determine who she would be with one day. So you want to tell everybody who you are and what you do?
Hi everyone. Thank you so much for having me, Chanel.
Absolutely.
My name is Tami Latrell. I'm a multi-platinum Grammy nominated songwriter. I started in the business of music as a songwriter like 20 years ago. I wrote for Whitney Houston, Keisha Cole, Monica, SWV.
Nice.
And about 2012, I started really teaching the business of music and educating a lot of songwriters and producers on my YouTube channel. Okay. And so when I started seeing that was taking off, and there were so many people in the industry that just didn't understand the complexities of the business of music, I continued to do workshops and all of that. And then more recently in 2018, I launched the Mezzo Agency, which is my company.
Y'all hear that? The Mezzo Agency. For all you music heads out there, pay attention. Okay.
So the Mezzo Agency services the music community. We register songs, catalogs for a lot of songwriters and producers who wouldn't otherwise maybe not understand all that there is about collecting their royalties, making sure their splits are correct, handling their copyright. Some of them don't even have publishing companies. We set that up for them. And we just create a safe space for them to really come in and say, look, I have songs that are out. I know I have money out there. I just don't know how to collect that money. And so we have recovered a lot of royalties. We represent clients like K-Camp. We have some local clients here. More recently, Baby Fendi. We have another artist, Young Al, who's in Houston. He's making noise out there. But we also have producers and songwriters who have written and produced for artists like Queen Naja, Lil Durk. And the list goes on and on. So I really am passionate about what I do because I, was a songwriter first. And that really compelled and launched my career. But I realized that, I'm of service better when I'm working for other songwriters and producers and advocating for their rights. It's not a lot of us doing that.
Absolutely.
Prince and Michael Jackson, to me, they kind of set the tone of like really maintaining their independence or speaking on their behalf as far as protecting their rights. And so I'm just trying to pass. I'm taking the torch and running with it.
So with you now, You guys know that Miss Harlem is always around, so just always know that she's always around. So with you being in the industry and being a writer now, and stepping more into, like, let's just say like your logistics and the operations,
the business space.
Yeah, the business space. Which one do you feel was a little bit more challenging, or has been more challenging for you?
I will say the business side, just mainly because anytime you are starting a business, there are so many hats that you're wearing.
Okay.
Because obviously you got to see if this is gonna work.
Yes.
So you're wearing the hat as CEO, but then you're also handling your marketing. You're working on your financing and learning how to do your own bookkeeping and really trying to build a team in the process. Right. The great thing about that I'm so grateful for was I did 9 years in corporate America.
Wow. Okay.
So even as a songwriter, as a creative, I still learned the operations of a business through being around Radio 1.
Yeah.
I worked there for 9 years. Shout out to my Radio 1 family.
Okay.
I did 5 years in Houston and 4 years in Atlanta. And I really got a chance to see all the different divisions and how they all work together. I saw how HR worked with accounting. I saw how all of the programming and working with the jocks and handling my department, which was digital media that I was over, how we interacted with other departments to launch campaigns. So and then just being promoted and hiring a team, you're learning accounting because now you have a budget and you have to hire people based off of the budget that your manager has given you. So all of those different areas of experience really prepared me for the launch of my company. And so it was more challenging, whereas as a songwriter, I'm just in the studio working. I'm writing, I'm having a good time.
You gotta focus more on being creative.
And I can just focus on being creative. I don't have to worry about the business side of it until afterwards. Until afterwards. But as a songwriter, you still individually are working for yourself, and you're working with your publishing company or the artist that you're writing for. So it's just that direct relationship, whereas with the corporation, you're working with multiple people across many different departments, and you have to how to conduct business, be professional and support your team, but also be a support to other teams in different departments as well. So,
absolutely.
I would say the business side is a lot more challenging.
So would you say that the industry that you're in, like as far as you handling more of the business, is that more male dominated?
Oh, absolutely.
How do you feel that men have taken to you now being in this industry and stepping in and saying like, hey, this is my client, they need X, Y, and Z? How has that been for you?
I would say I love the look on their faces when they find out I'm the CEO. It's always funny. They're kind of like, oh, this your company. They're thinking I'm more, because I am a woman, I'm in a supportive role. So it's like, okay, she's just collecting the information for whoever owns the company. This is her department. But it's like, no, I actually own the company. And like, okay, well, how long have y'all been open? So it kind of gives me an opportunity to share more about what we do, because people are so intrigued once they find out, like, oh no, she owns the company. So, but men have always, been more dominant in the area, especially in the music business. I've been used to that since I started in the business at 17. So that was almost 20 years ago. So I'll be 39 this year. So
you'll be 39?
21, 22,
I just turned 39 too, y'all.
I'll be 35. I call it 35.
I love it, because people say, how do you feel at 39? And I'm like, I feel the same way. But I think it's also about how you take care of yourself, the type of energy that you allow to be around you. All that plays a part in us aging and just becoming better women. That's what I think. Okay, so I have to ask, because of course I stalked your Instagram. And I know that you are now in a good relationship.
Very good. Healthy relationship.
See, a healthy one. That's very important. Yes. So I want to ask, with you having the role that you have, with you being a CEO of your company, has that brought any challenges in your relationship?
No, not at all. He's completely like my number one fan, very supportive. Understanding of my time. He values my time, I value his time, because he's also an entrepreneur as well. Nice. We are very in tune with him knowing my vision, and I know his vision. So that really helps with the direction that we're going. And as I build, of course, I'm keeping him abreast of what my goals and my dreams are.
Yeah,
We're able to dream and think big together.
Okay.
So, just completely opposite. Completely secure within himself as a man. He's
Which
secure
is very
in our
important.
relationship. Yeah.
Yes.
I never have to worry about like him being overbearing or controlling.
Okay.
We just fit like hand in glove. It's very healthy, and then he has a very strong spiritual foundation.
Okay.
And that really is what brought us together, because how we met was just so magical. But the conversation and overall how we were able to really bond when we first met was more so about how we take care of ourselves.
Absolutely.
So he and I both had went through a spiritual journey. We didn't even know each other at this time, but we had gone on our own spiritual journey, just trying to get to wholeness.
Okay.
And just as a man, I felt listening to him as a man share some of his deepest moments of being vulnerable and having to really get himself out of really dark spaces.
Okay.
To now be evolved and have so many dreams. I mean, it was like, okay, this is definitely someone that understands, what I've gone through.
Okay.
And so it helped us to make the process easier for us to really blend, So yeah, it hasn't been challenging, more so just having his support.
Okay.
And he has great ideas too.
Yeah.
So we're talking about stuff and I'm telling him about certain things, and he's giving me certain ideas and just ways that I can enhance. And it's not coming from a place of control.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's coming from a place of like, hey, what you think about this idea?
Yeah.
I thought it would be good, and just wanting the best for me as his partner. And I think that is so important for us to, I always want the best, and then when we accept ideas and support, we don't take it as like negative or criticism or anything like that. It's more so just like, he just wants to see me win.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about healing. What did your healing process look like, if you don't mind? I know. Okay, let me tell
y'all ready?
For me, I feel like my healing process has been in different ways. So I think I told you guys last week, I just turned 39. I went to Mexico by myself.
Oh, wow.
That was the first time I ever...
Part?
Cancun,
okay.
So I've traveled by myself many a times, but I've never traveled internationally. And I've definitely never traveled internationally by myself.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm turning 39. I love my baby, but I'm with her all the time. I need some time to myself. I need to do some personal healing.
Yeah.
And so I literally went to Mexico. I stayed for 3 days. I got up every day at 5 o'clock. I sat on the beach. I wrote in my gratitude journal. I took my crystals with me. And I literally, things that I felt like no longer served me, I left it in Mexico. And all the things that I wanted to serve me and the things that I am grateful for every day, that's what I wrote down.
Yeah.
I didn't want to write down the negative. I wanted to write down the positive.
Yeah.
And so I did a lot of personal healing just in those 3 days. But for me, my healing was acknowledging what was really bothering me. Even maybe stepping back into some things that I dealt with in my childhood, because I feel like we all still kids.
Yes.
Okay? And, and just being vulnerable with myself. And I think that a lot of times people are afraid to admit, like, I need to heal. But if you don't heal, I personally don't believe that you're going to become the best version of yourself.
I totally agree.
So that's just me. I put myself out there to you guys. So.
No, I totally agree. My process was devastating at first.
Okay.
For one, because, you fall in love, you have this whole idea of what, you think it is going to be. And then when things just kind of crash, you realize that it's not healthy.
Yes.
It becomes toxic, or, it's unsafe. And, in my case, it was unsafe. It was very unhealthy. And of course I'm a mother, so I can't just make a decision for myself. Everything has to be, for my daughter first. That's my responsibility to make sure that she's safe. So the devastation of it, of just walking away and just having to start over. Okay. That was a shock, but I'm grateful to have had a support team. Okay. So my healing looked more like, having a band of women around me, a tribe of women around me who had either been through what I had gone through, or were in a space of what I needed at the time, to where some of them were some of them are entrepreneurs, and were just really like on their grind, so it motivated me in that area to focus and push. And then I had, you know, some of my other girls were, you know, spiritually grounded, you know, so they were who I went to for prayer and for meditation and being able to have those in-depth spiritual soul conversations through that process. Other, you know, women of my tribe were, you know, have been through domestic violence, have been through abuse already, and so they were able to kind of keep me focused on the healing process because of their own healing. I also got a life coach. That was so phenomenal for me because it was life changing, because I had gone to therapy before and I still do go to therapy. But the difference with the life coach that I learned was she was able to help me visualize my direction of where I wanted to go and just kind of change my trajectory. And once I was able to do that, it allowed me to really see the light at the end of the tunnel, because when you're coming out of something so traumatic, devastating, you know, and, you know, really having to start over, you just kind of feel down and just, you know, feeling like everything is just dark. But when you have someone kind of coaching you along the process, step by step, okay, this is where we are now. This is where you're trying to get. What have you done this week to get closer to that goal? And so I really invested into myself. I, you know, started, you know, I literally started my life over. I turned in a lot of my luxury cars and downsized my place, and I just really wanted to invest in myself, and I needed that type of time, and I didn't need the expenses over my head. And I knew I wanted to ultimately start my business, Mezzo. And so she helped me with seeing the light at the end of the tunnel week by week. You know, and by me making that investment into myself and paying for a life coach, it blessed me in so many ways, because I was able to compartmentalize a lot. Which is something I don't think we're taught to do. I think men naturally compartmentalize, but I think as women we're more emotional. So we carry a lot on our sleeve and everywhere else. Our heart, our head.
I know.
We just got everything all over the place, right? But compartmentalizing allowed me to kind of separate, you know, what no longer served me and helped me to be able to kind of like focus on what I was trying to create. Like, so I used to always like hashtag on Instagram, because I never wanted my past and the things I had gone through. I didn't want that to be my story. So I would focus on everything that I wanted. So my hashtag for a while was create the life you want. And so everything that I wanted to do, once I had accomplished it, I would talk about it. It would make me feel good, and I would say create the life you want. You know, and so that part of the journey helped. And then of course having my daughter. She's saying, "Mommy, I'm so proud of you." She's seeing me in a new light. She's seeing that I'm happier. We're able to do more things together because I'm not all down and depressed, you know.
Because they notice, honey.
Oh, they do. I mean, they pick up on everything. So I didn't even really have to tell her much. I mean, obviously as she got older, I was able to kind of give her some background on, you know, what all had occurred within the relationship, because she was there too. And but I gave her more of an introspective, you know, point of view, and also gave her a way to look at the relationship as this is why it's so important to make sure that you choose partners who make good choices. You can actually look at their lives and determine the choices that they've made to see if you want them to be able to be the one making choices for you, because ultimately that's what's going to happen. If anything were to happen with your spouse, your partner, and the choices need to be made, I would hope that they would trust you as their partner to say, you know what, she got me. She gonna hold me down.
She know how I move.
She know how I move. So if I ever hit a hard stop, this is my partner and she got my back and she gonna look out for me. But if you identify early that you're with someone who just doesn't make good choices, then what do you think they're gonna do with you? They're not gonna make good choices.
That's true. That's true.
So, but you know, I would just use my life and my evolution and my journey and the trials as a way to help her see. Like you said, so we're not, you know, passing that hurt and pain and all of the unhealthy things along to our children, you know, to our daughters especially. So she was a part of the motivation as well. And like I said, I really got in touch with my spirituality and, you know, kind of just went on a whole spiritual journey, like, you know, understanding that, look, it's way more than what I was taught.
It is. It's like the world is a huge place.
Oh my goodness.
I think sometimes. And everybody's family is different, so whatever your parents teach you, your mother, your father,
that's what you do.
You kind of just get stuck in that box because
that's what you know. But we know our parents, they're human, and they're not always right.
Yeah.
And they're basically teaching you and raising you based off how their parents taught them. And it's just like, it's like a trickle effect.
Yeah, they're just doing their best, you know. And I took my parents off the pedestal.
Yes.
That was another thing. I had to take them off the pedestal, thinking that once I woke up, once I had my awakening, and I started really getting deep into meditation, and just, you know, changing my mindset, watching what I consume, you know, changing up my feed, unfriending, unfollowing things that were toxic. Yes. Because that's all contributing to who you become.
No, it's true.
You know? And so once I went through that journey, I really just was like, you know what? We really put a lot of pressure on our parents.
Yes, we do.
And then, you know, turn it on them when our life isn't good, because we emulate literally everything that we have seen them do. But it was like, no, you have to take accountability for your own self. And take your parents off the pedestal, because they were just trying to do their best raising you. They didn't have a book on how this worked, you know? Yeah. And so that really helped me, too, to just look at my parents as, she's an adult. My mom is just an adult, just like I am. My dad is an adult, just like I am. And he went through whatever he had to go through, and he did his best. Yes. But how can I do better with my daughter? You know. And so, so that was a part of that healing process. Consisted of my tribe, you know, having a great group of women around me supporting me, getting a life coach, still attending therapy, you know, working out, changing my diet, and just the overall 360, you know, of health. And then of course, you know, spirituality, and you know, and having a life coach, really, like I said, it was very important and imperative, because it gave me direction. It helped me rediscover my purpose and my passion again. Okay. Yeah.
So when you decided that you wanted to go into therapy, how did you make that decision? Because I think a lot of times people, of course, want to go into therapy, but they don't know who to choose, or should it be a man or a woman, or should I go to somebody that my friends go, or don't go to because I don't want them in my, like, how did you decide?
I'm not gonna lie, I went through my insurance and I took referrals, and then I just I went through the process of doing a lot of research online, their reviews. I didn't necessarily care too much to have, it's awkward, but I didn't care to have a therapist of color. Okay. Now I have a doctor of color. Absolutely. My gynecologist is of color. My primary care physician is of color. But my therapist, what really mattered to me is that I didn't want them to be biased. Because of what we have already gone through. Yes. Yeah. I wanted them really to just see my issues and hear me out, and give me the solution and of what, you know, how to heal from them. Then really kind of, you know, well, girl, I know too. Yeah. I done been there too.
I done been there too.
Next thing you know, it turned into a conversation that I'm really not trying to have like that, because you are assigned, from the time you take me on as a client, you're assigned to help me heal and help me learn better tools on how to cope. Yeah. No, you're right. You know, and so I just wanted to make sure that was the focus. So with my therapist, you know, what mattered most to me is the treatment. Okay. And then learning the tools that I could bring along with me in my journey, and then if I ever had to, you know, help anyone else, you know. And so that was helpful for me. Now, the difference is I was diagnosed with anxiety and panic disorder in 2012. So I had already been a person who had very intense work habits that were causing me, on top of a personal life. I was married at the time to my ex, to my daughter's father. Okay. And I didn't really understand what I was diagnosed with. I just knew that something wasn't right, because I would have moments where I would just shut down and I couldn't do anything. Okay. And
that's kind of scary.
It would cause, it was very scary. I mean, I remember going into the doctor, because I told him, I was like, I gotta go to the doctor. I'm not feeling good. And, you know, he was just like, you know, like, okay, I mean, let's figure it out. So I go into my general primary care physician, and the first thing she asked me, and she was a white lady. Okay. First thing she asked me was, are you being abused?
That's the first thing they always ask.
Are you okay? You know? Yeah. And so at that time, I was not going through any abuse. You know, my daughter's father, our issues were a totally separate issue as to why, you know, we didn't make it. But, you know, that was the first thing she thought of, you know, and I was just like, well, no, but it was really my work habits and learning how to balance on top of the responsibility of being a mother for the first time and a wife for the first time. Yes, a lot. All together. And a creative.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, so I started doing therapy once I was diagnosed back then.
Okay.
And I stopped. I didn't like the medication, weaned myself off of it. But once I got into an unhealthy relationship, with someone else.
Okay.
That's when the anxiety triggered again.
Okay, you had just like a lot going on mentally.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm a thinker.
Yeah.
And my brain kind of operates differently because I have that creative side and I have that business brain too. So, you're using all of that all day at work, and then you have to go to the studio from 8 to midnight maybe. But in between time, I'm doing homework and, with my daughter, I'm helping her and making sure dinner is done and, making sure the sitter has everything they need before I leave. So it was just like stuff on top of stuff, and I'm in an unhealthy, abusive relationship too.
Yeah, I get
so
that.
it was a lot. So I got back into therapy out here because at the time, the first diagnosis I was in Houston, in my hometown. But when I got the therapy out here, the main thing he told me was like, you really need to identify what is stressing you out and eliminate it.
Yeah, let it go. Be gone.
Eliminate it, because if you didn't have the anxiety and the stress before, then we got to figure out what's triggering that stress. What is having you in the hospital with these disorders? What is the issue to where you're panicking and your whole system just says stop.
Yeah,
don't
like you shut down.
You shut down.
Yeah.
I mean, it debilitates you, like having that. And I'm open to talk about it now because I know how to manage it now.
Yeah.
I just don't deal with anything that's unnecessarily stressful.
God, honey, I get it.
And I had to, and that was another thing too. Identify what's stressing you out, and then also figure out why you keep attracting those things.
Yes.
What is it that you're not healed from that is having you to attract the same things that are stressing you out? And so that's what therapy did for me. Was it put me in a mode of, okay, I gotta go back to my trauma. I gotta revisit all that stuff. So that whole healing journey, I learned mirror work, my affirmations, really understanding, meditation, the whole process of being able to shut your brain down before your body shut down.
Nice. Okay.
And so, being able to control the mind, control the emotions, changing your mindset, looking at things from different perspectives instead of always thinking that somebody is out to hurt you. Because we grow up with that response.
No, it's true.
When you come up in trauma, you always on alert, like hold up.
Yeah. Kind of like survival mode. You're always in survival mode.
Perfect. Always in survival mode. And I just got tired. Now I'm in thriving mode.
There you go.
I'm no longer surviving, I'm thriving.
There you go.
But it took me some time to get there. So, any woman who is currently going through, I found out last night about, someone that is going through a similar situation.
Okay.
And my heart literally I just felt it all over again, because I know what it's like to be in a dark place like that. I know what it's like to really, not really put myself first, not have any self-worth, and then also be fearful, because when you're in a situation that's unhealthy and toxic and you being manipulated, you kind of like on eggshells all the time. You don't even know who you are, So, I just, that was my healing journey. It's just really getting down to the nitty gritty of why are you attracting this? How can you do better? What is your goal? What are your goals now? What do you want your life to look like? Moving forward, and how can we not make these type of decisions anymore? I literally talk to myself now like I am my own. I talk to my higher self talks to me. Yeah. And keeps me encouraged anytime I'm going down a path that I probably am like, oh, hold on, wait a minute,
Let me pump the brakes.
It pump the brakes. It pull you right on back in, because you start feeling that anxiety. You start seeing the signs early on. Yeah. And that was another thing too, identifying red flags and saying, okay, Tami, this is the red flag.
You've seen them before.
Honey.
Yeah.
Just pause everything and look real quick. Look around. Look around at what you're seeing. Yeah. Does this look familiar? Yeah. Have you been here before? Okay, make a different decision, because we know the decision that you made in the past led you to the left. We're trying to go right. Yeah. And so just, not being stubborn and choosing to do the right thing, because you really are putting yourself first. You don't want to hurt yourself anymore. Yeah. I didn't want to sabotage myself anymore.
Yeah. No, I understand. You talk about red flags. I personally think that, and we'll talk about the when women say they don't need a man. I think a lot of times, and you tell me what you think, that when a lot of women say that, I think that they are referring to not wanting to deal with what they've dealt with in the past, those red flags. And also, I think it has a lot to do with our upbringings, and especially if we are raised in single parent households and we're watching our mothers. You know, our mothers are saying that they don't need this and they don't need that, and our mothers tend to have a lot of masculine energy because they're having to. So what's your thought on that? Because I feel like I see it so much. You hear it in the music. It's all on social media. You know, what do you think about that?
You know, I would never knock what people choose to do with their lives. But it didn't resonate with me.
Okay.
I knew that even though I had some unhealthy relationships in the past, I did grow up in a household that was traumatic. You know, we dealt with abuse. We dealt with just some very unhealthy situations.
Okay.
That, you know, over time it got better. You know, just so it won't look like it was just all bad.
Yeah.
You know, there were great times on both sides of my family, but I still did not take the attitude that I didn't need a man. I felt like I knew enough about myself that when I am in a relationship, I'm just as happy when I'm not in a relationship. The key was the type of man. The type of man that I was attracting. Am I attracting this man off of trauma response?
Okay.
You know, feeling like I don't want to be a victim, so I got to attract somebody who is my protector and strong and has this whole persona that I thought was what a healthy relationship was. When all along, you know, I still had issues, so I was attracting exactly what I didn't want.
Okay. Makes
And
a lot of
so,
sense.
you know, that was the main thing. I never really resonated with that whole idea of I don't need a man. I think that unfortunately, because so many of our men are, you know, isolated because either they're locked up, you know, they're taken away from their families. Some of them very unfairly, you know, unjustly rather. A lot of them are being killed, you know, at a you know, exponential rate.
It's crazy.
We have a lot more of an opportunity to kind of easily step into the role of a man.
Yes.
You know, and then you have some men who just don't necessarily want to be with you. They want to have options.
They want to do what they want to do.
They want to do what they want to do. They want to be with you and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. You know, so really, I had to, you know, I don't knock nobody and what they're preaching about and what they feel is best for them. But I knew that if I desired a man who desired me or desired one woman, because that was my desire. It was like, Lord, I desire a man who desires one woman. Who desires me as much as I desire him.
Absolutely.
And once I got in that mindset, I started working on all the things that I needed to work on for myself, so that if he sees me, he could recognize me. And
I like that you said that.
Because
as women, we don't hold ourselves accountable.
We don't. We be thinking, oh, I got a job, I got degrees, I got cars, I got this and that, all these material possessions, but you empty on the inside.
You empty on the inside.
You're not whole. You put in so much energy into things that don't even matter. Like, you know, I'm just really big on character. You know, it could be a bad chick walk up in here and I'm sure gonna be like, hey girl, I want to see your outfit, you cute. But I'm more so looking at her character and how she carries herself as a woman. I'm not really focused on all that, because everything she got could be gone tomorrow. You know, it is what it is. We're living in a world now where things can literally flip upside down really
That's
quickly.
so true.
So I don't measure a man off of a woman, anyone off of that. I really look at their character, and I knew that substance was important to me. And so, but I had to get my substance together. You know, because another thing, alignment. Which was my biggest lesson. In order for me to be aligned with the man who God has for me, I had to get in alignment with all the things that I said I was going to be, and what I wanted and what I desired. Because I could be saying all these things that I desire in a man, in my career, you know, spiritually, but if I'm not doing things that are putting me in that direction to achieve those things,
how are you going to attract it?
How are you going to attract it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, so that was another thing too. You know, there are women out there who will say, I want a man who this and that and that, but you still sleeping with your best friend who married.
Yeah.
You know, or you have this whole attitude where you're gonna be the man in a relationship and you're gonna do men like you were done.
Yes.
Or, I mean, I'm just thinking of all kind of scenarios, you know, that I've either experienced or know of some people that I know who are in situations like that where, you know, you don't mind, you know, being with this guy on this particular day because you know that he has options, you know. And so to me, when you make all of those different choices, that's okay because it's your life.
That's your life.
But just know that if you have a desire to be with a man who desires you and only you, then everything that you're doing now is not in alignment with what that is.
Yeah.
So how can you attract that if you're still doing this, and that?
Yeah.
You know, and thinking just because nobody knows that it's not going to affect your goals. No, it does.
Yeah.
Because for one, God sees everything.
Yeah.
And number two, all the energy that you putting out, you got energy over here, energy over there, energy over there. You're not putting no energy into yourself.
Yes.
So you definitely not gonna be in alignment with a man who is putting energy into himself. Because if he has discipline with himself, he's gonna have discipline with you.
That's very true.
So
It's so true. And something that you said that I even kind of noticed just when we are talking about social media is, first of all, we know that women are amazing.
yes, we are fabulous. Though.
Okay, Black women are amazing. We're doing amazing things just like you.
Queen.
You are a CEO of your agency. But then let's just say that you are one of those type of women that you're a CEO of your agency. You drive this type of car. You're making this much money. You're doing X, Y, and Z, right? And so you feel as if because you have all these things going on, that that's all that you need to be doing. That's all that somebody needs to see you. That's all a man needs to see about you. They don't need to understand the inside of you. All he sees is the material things. And I think I see so many women basically just talking about all the material things about themselves, but you never hear them say,
it's really bad.
yeah. And I'm like, a man doesn't really care about how much money you're making. Now, of course he wants you to be passionate about some things. He wants you to, you know, do something that makes you happy. But I don't really hear no men walking around talking about, yeah, my girl gotta be this and that, or
unless he's a narcissist, unless he's trying to use you.
Look,
you know, if anything, I think men are very simple. We make them complex.
Yes, we do.
I think from what I have learned, just from knowing the difference now from a healthy and an unhealthy relationship through my own experiences that I'm speaking of, I think we make them very complex because we really have not identified who we are and we're not walking in our truth.
Okay.
And we're letting, like you said, the material things kind of be our representative.
Yeah.
But, you know, not realizing that eventually if you plan on settling down, he ain't going to be looking at your car. He's not going to be looking at all the bedazzle you got on your nails.
Exactly.
And, you know, what color you wearing today, what wig you got on today. He's not paying attention to that.
Yeah.
Are you treating him good? Can he expect some food on the table that's gonna be good every now and then? I'm not saying you gotta cook every night and be, you know, pregnant and barefooted.
Right.
You know, because if you're a businesswoman, you know, sometimes you gotta like, hey babe, you gonna cook tonight? What we doing?
Yeah.
But at least know how to prepare a meal. Can you make a house a home?
Yeah.
You know, can you help him to feel supported? Not make him, but can you help him feel supported? Or are you, you know, if he has a vulnerable moment with you, are you going to be down talking and emasculating him?
Yes.
Because you don't know how to be compassionate and vulnerable because it happened to you.
Yeah. Ooh, yes. That's, yeah.
You know, and so that's all I'm saying. It's like we really have to take accountability for our stuff and get more substance within ourselves before we start kind of creating this whole illusion, because I really call it delusional. A lot of women are delusional. You know it ain't right and you still doing it.
Yeah.
We do it all the time. I was there. I'm seeing the signs that this dude is playing me and I'm still like showing up. Like today gonna be a different day. No, it's not. It's not gonna be a different day. He playing you to the left and he talking to you crazy. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
The same thing with, you know, I think I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and you know that's gonna make him want to rock with me because I know how to go out here and get some money. Honey, if you really knew the word, okay, it wasn't even set up like that in the first place.
It wasn't.
It wasn't. We are the receivers. We are the receivers.
Yeah.
The men are the givers. That's
Yes.
why they were instructed to provide, to be able to provide and give to us so we can receive. That's what it's supposed to be. So I'm not saying you can't have a hustle and have your own career.
Absolutely.
I have mine too.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, I know how to fall back.
Yes.
And I know how to go into my feminine goddess energy.
There you go.
And allow him to court me.
Yes.
Allow him to date me. Take me out. Show me new things. Be the provider that he is, even if he's just providing me attention.
Yes.
You know, he may be providing paying a bill every now and then. Okay, cool. You're not obligated, but really providing a sense of security.
Yes.
You know, and I'm receiving all of that because I know that is something that, for one, that's how it's supposed to be, but I'm not trying to be in his lane if he's already there.
There you go.
And that's what I talked about on that post. I was like,
Yeah.
a lot of us don't really understand masculine and feminine energy. You got to know when to cut it off.
Yes.
Because at work, I am very aggressive.
Yeah.
I'm very assertive. I'm very dominant. And that's why I believe that I have excelled and was able to build a team so quickly and do all these great things that God has blessed me with. But when I'm with him,
Yeah.
oh, honey,
You gotta tone it down.
I'm chilling.
Okay.
He really helps me to maintain and stay in my feminine energy. And I feel secure enough to do that without thinking he's gonna mess over me or he's gonna take advantage of my weakness.
Yeah, well I was gonna say that because I always talk about just the feminine energy. I think it's extremely important. But you have some women that feel like feminine energy, what that mean? Like I ain't about to be weak. So explain what being in your feminine energy means to you.
Yeah, so feminine energy, just like masculine energy, is on both sides.
Yeah.
You know, men have feminine energy just like they have masculine energy. But the key is when you identify who you're with as a partner, somebody got to stay in their lane.
Yes.
You can't have two masculine energies.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't. It don't have nothing to do with your sex.
Yeah.
You know, like whether you male or female.
Yeah.
Like it has everything to do with the two energies.
Yeah.
The energies have to balance out.
Yes.
And if I am more masculine, he's already masculine, it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, my feminine energy, I tap more into that when I started choosing myself. I started focusing on taking care of myself, you know, catering to myself, doing all the things that I would want a man to do for me. I did it for myself from a place of you deserve this.
Yes.
This is what you are worthy of this.
Yes.
Also, you know, dressing more feminine too, because being in corporate and being always got to be on point. You always got a suit on.
Yeah.
Baby, you don't need to have a suit on every day.
Yeah.
Go get you some cute dresses.
Yes.
Go get you some heels.
Yes.
You know, go get your lashes done. You know, get your hair, get dolled up real quick.
Yeah.
So you can really feel pampered because it helps you to be able to relax and ease on into something that you naturally, you know, you naturally are supposed to be able to evolve into anyway.
Yeah.
I feel like that helped me. It's just, you know, really putting a lot of energy into myself and doing girly things.
Okay.
You know, and not just being so hard all the
Look,
time.
I see the smile on your face as you talk about it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Like, I love taking care of myself now.
Yeah.
Back then, I was like, I gotta hustle, I gotta work, I gotta grind.
Yeah.
When I see women like that now, I'll be like, child,
It's tiring.
going on.
Yes.
You exhausted.
Yes.
You exhausted and don't want to admit it.
Yeah.
But it's cool.
Yeah.
You know, like whatever. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I've been there. I know what that looks
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
But it really is a trauma response.
Yeah.
When you feel like
absolutely.
you gotta be I gotta work, no sleep, no sleep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We gonna see what you're gonna be looking like 5 years from now. Bags under your eyes. Ain't taking care of yourself. You're looking like about 10 years older. We know black don't crack. But I done seen some women.
Yeah.
They really just haven't evolved because they're still in that type of energy.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, you start looking real quick.
No, you
because
do.
you're not taking care of yourself because you put work. Work is your mechanism that you use to make it seem as if because you're working so hard that you're going to be able to provide yourself with all the things that you need. So this is all you need.
This
and
is all
it's
you
not.
need. Yeah, that's true.
It's not. It is not because those same women are alone at home. Because I was one of them.
Okay.
Crying my eyes out because I couldn't have a healthy relationship. I couldn't figure it out at that time what the problem was. But that's what it was. I was too busy. Another thing, women will compete with men. Now, it's men that will try to compete with their women.
That's true. Yeah.
But when you are in a relationship with a man who is secure and taking care of himself and wants to take care of you, you don't necessarily have to feel insecure because maybe he does something better or does something that is new to you.
Yes.
You know, I have been in a situation where I felt uncomfortable and insecure because he knew how to do something better than I did. When really, I should have been like, oh dang, baby, see, that's why we together.
I was in a relationship like that too. Yeah. Where I felt like, and he basically let me know, like, I always feel like you competing with me.
And it's not a competition.
And in my mind, I didn't realize that that's what I was doing. Yeah.
Because that's because we have those insecurities that come from something else. It don't even have nothing to do with him.
No, absolutely.
It's from the past. Something else made you, it triggered you to become insecure. And so now you're on the defense like, let me go show him out.
Yeah.
Really, that's what we building together.
Yes. No, you're right.
You know, but I have also been in a relationship where I had a man who was competing with me. And I was like, okay, you know what, this is weird.
Yeah,
like, I don't need to be in a relationship with a man who competing with me because I really want to build.
Yeah.
I really want to build with my man.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just think that it all comes from insecurity. Insecurity comes from ego. Ego comes from fear.
Yes.
So we have to go on, peel it on back,
yes.
figure out where it's coming from, identify it, and fix it, heal it before, you know, you continue to repeat the cycle.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
So with you going through all your healing and where you're at now, and with you having your agency, what do you do for me time? Like, what does it look like when Miss Tami Latrell wants to just enjoy herself and not have to focus on anybody else at the moment?
My partner is my best friend.
Okay.
But outside of that, spending time with my daughter,
okay,
you know, that means everything to me. Me and her could just be sitting in bed and we'll have a movie night and we're just watching, you know, we'll pull up the computer and put on our favorite movie and sit there and just have girl talk and fall asleep. She'll be asleep before me, right? But, you know, just spending that quality time. I love hiking. I love, you know, just being out in nature. But I will say I am a Cancer, so I'm in the house a lot too.
Yeah, and you're emotional.
And I'm very, very emotional. Now, I'm on a cusp. So I have a Cancer Leo.
Oh, okay.
So depending on my environment, I can kind of be a little bit more dominant. But when I'm at home, I'm super domestic. Like, I'm the one that's cooking, trying to make sure the house is clean, laundry, clothes, cleaning up the bathrooms, making sure everything is in tip-top shape. And then I'm able to relax and just kind of be in my mode. I can turn on my music, like my incense and candles, go in my prayer closet, lay on my altar a little bit. And then, you know, just really have that alone time. I'm a person where, you know, I've gotten to that place because I wasn't always here, but I really enjoy being by myself too.
Me too, girl.
I really enjoy my time alone.
So when you say that, how do people take that? Because I think sometimes people could take it like, what you mean? And I don't take it as, well, I'm not saying it as if I don't want to be around people, but I thoroughly enjoy peace. Yeah. And so, you know, I feel like solitude can be a gift and a curse, because you could get so caught up in just being by yourself, just in a sense that, you know, so how do people take that when
it's a balancing act? It is a balancing act. I think those self-care days are so important.
Yes.
Making sure you have a self-care day and kind of have a routine of how you do certain things, I think is very good, because it ensures that you're going to make time for yourself no matter what. You know, my self-care days are my Sundays. You know, I relax, I sage, you know, I do my spa bath. Sometimes I do a spiritual bath. I also am in tune, you know, with, you know, just the different cycles of the moon. You know, just being a Cancer, we kind of like moon signs, right? So, like, I'm always excited about the new moon because it's like new energy. You know, new affirmations, new goals, you know, new changes. And so, you know, I keep in touch. I keep tapped into all of that stuff. You know, it was created. The moon was created by God. You know, He's the ruler of the heavens and the universe. So, you know, I like to be in tune with what's going on up there. You know, and
absolutely.
So, I try to make that time, you know, worth my while. But then I also know that, you know, it's a balancing act. I gotta spend time with my baby. You know, make sure she's good. I have to, you know, spend time with my partner, my family. You know. And I try to and I have to recharge. And that self-care time is allowing me to recharge because, you know, being emotional, you know, we can easily easily gravitate, you know, to people that we know need us. And then we go into like trying to fix it, coddling, what we need, what you need, you know, nurturing and all that. And that's cool. But sometimes I need to nurture myself. You know, so just really putting myself first, knowing that, you know, there's no way I can fill someone else's cup if mine, isn't full. Shout out to Auntie Young.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And I do watch me some Fix My Life. I do watch the reruns too, just to kind of like, reset.
Because she gets you together.
Yeah, she gets you on together. She have you really looking in the mirror like, okay, so how you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't try to offend anyone. I really think that if a person takes offense to it, they're probably not familiar with it.
Okay.
And that's just their journey.
Okay.
So I use that time to say, I will see you tomorrow. I had such a good time, but today I just need to take care of a few things for myself and get some things off my list. And that's putting me, I'm on the list too.
Yeah,
it's not just my tasks, it's not just my bills. Yeah. But I'm on my list too. Yeah. And if you want to come by later, cool, or if you want me to come through later, but this is what we're gonna be doing. This is what I'm gonna be doing now. Yeah. And I don't make it like, don't call me.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can call me or whatever, but this is what I know I need to take care of. And to me, having an evolved partner, they're never going to question you on that because they too know that they need the time as well.
Yeah, so you respect each other. Yeah, you're on the same wavelength. I think that is so important.
Frequency is so important. But again, had I not been in alignment with what it is that I wanted, then I wouldn't have been able to attract someone who was also in alignment. We just wouldn't have been able to see eye to eye and be on the same page, same frequency.
Yeah. How do you balance motherhood and being in such a high position?
To her, I'm just her mother.
Okay.
I'm not CEO when I'm at home.
Okay.
I'm just mommy. And that is, and I wear that proudly. I wear that with so much being crowned as mother. Yeah. That is that's more important to me than anything. I'm a mother first. Okay. So I don't even go into that mode with her. Now she has seen me in action. Okay. From just, being around the office. Obviously if I'm at home and I'm on a business call, she knows when I can put it on, turn it on and turn it off. But when I deal with her, when she calls my name, I'm always like, yes, baby. Yeah. Yes, what do you mean? Yeah. I'm dealing with her with compassion, with love, with understanding, allowing her to have a voice and give her opinions on certain things, allowing her to feel. Yeah. And not being so dictatorish to her. She's my child. Yeah. And she comes from me. So but she's also growing into her own young lady. Yeah, absolutely. And that's important, for her to be able to see and have a good example, but to also have the freedom to, explore and have opinions about things as well, because it creates discussion. Yeah. And that's how I deal with her. We have, it's been moments where she's taught me things. Yeah. And
I always say that your children, they teach you something every day.
Every day. She has taught me some things that have me be like, man, she's younger than me, but, she's very mature for her age, but she definitely sees things from a different lens. And it's okay for me to try to understand. I may not get it, may not agree with it all the time, but I understand from her perspective at her age, in her experience, this is what she sees. So why can't I be open enough to, listen and just hear her out? Yeah. I think that really creates a well-rounded and decent person to where they're not afraid to say how they feel. I never wanted her to grow up being timid. Yeah. And I wanted her to, be able to express herself, but also, express herself in a way to where it's not emotional. Yeah. It's not, I don't, be in your emotions and have your emotional moments. Sometimes she'll just cry on me and I'll just let her. She's stressed out from school, athletics, whatever.
And she should feel that comfortable.
And she should feel that comfortable. But also, when you are having an issue, I need you to be very clear about what makes you uncomfortable. Be able to articulate that with me. Because if you can't articulate it with your parents, it's gonna be really hard for you to articulate it out in the world when something is bothering you. You need to, everything starts at home. That's true. Everything starts at home. So, and I would ask her, is there anything that I said that made you feel uncomfortable, or did you understand what I was talking about earlier? Do we kind of need to revisit this? Yeah. My life coach taught me to ask these questions instead of, am I doing something wrong? Okay. Because you take power away from yourself. Yeah. But you also want to ask another person, have I disempowered you in any kind of way? Okay.
Yeah.
Have I disempowered you? Did I disempower you in any kind of way during that conversation?
Yeah.
You know, just having that, saying it that way, instead of like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
I did something to you, what I did?
Yeah. You're not making it confrontational.
Why you got an attitude?
Yeah.
You know, but just coming from a place of, you know, did I disempower you in any way? When we had that discussion, I noticed your vibe has changed a little bit. You know, that really helped me. So I even asked her, you know, when we were talking about that, and, you know, you saw that I was a little, you know, mad at you on this, like, you know, did I disempower you? Do you still have anything you need to say? Mm-hmm. You know, I'm okay with revisiting the conversation. Yeah. You know, and so, you know, I just try to remember she's human too.
Yes. I think that we do forget that our kids are human and that we owe them a lot of respect.
Yeah.
So we're gonna wrap it up. But I just want to know, what advice would you give, you know, to mothers that may be dealing with certain challenges? What would be some of the steps that they should take first to kind of start their healing process?
Oh man, I would say first, just understand and know without a shadow of a doubt. Even if you don't even believe it right now, just know that you are worthy.
Okay.
I think a lot of times we make decisions because we don't understand and know our worth. Our decisions are predicated upon that.
That was heavy.
When you know your worth, it's just certain things you're not gonna deal with.
Yeah,
it's almost like when I'm in business, if somebody is coming to my office and they're trying to debate with me on why I charge what I charge, I'm not gonna back down because I know the work and intensity and the labor and the time that it's gonna take to dive into your stuff and clean it up.
Yeah.
So,
and to get you the results that you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if we can be like that in business, and we can be like that in our workplace, because everyone is not, obviously an entrepreneur.
Okay.
We can be like that with, all these different standards that we have.
Yes.
Then why can't we be like that with ourselves when it comes down to choosing relationships? I want a man who understands my worth.
Okay.
But he also, that means he has to know his worth, because he is going to reflect everything that he is on me.
Yeah.
And everything that he is not on me.
Absolutely.
So the key is knowing your worth. Reciting your affirmations, understanding your essence, who you are when you walk in the room. Who is that woman?
Yeah.
Identifying those 5, 6 traits, however many traits you believe they are that really describe who you are, and walking in that authentically. Because from that point on, if what you are and how you're moving does not represent that, then you really need to kind of question, like, am I really living in my truth? So just knowing you're worthy, for one. Y'all, it's so much free content online. Oh my God, YouTube is like my best friend.
Yes.
Anytime
YouTube
I need
University.
to get my life together. Of course, I told you about watching E. Youngland, all these other self-help shows. Dive into it. If you can't afford therapy, if you can't get therapy, if you don't feel comfortable with therapy, there's so many resources online of people who are giving away all of this information on how to tap back into your self-worth for free. Yeah. So I would say take advantage of that. Also, when it comes down to, motherhood and balance and just, choosing healthy relationships, look at the relationships that you're surrounded by. You know, are they healthy? Are your friendships with other women healthy?
Yes.
Because that is a huge issue as well, where a lot of women don't have friendships that are healthy with other women. Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I have distanced myself a few times from women who have this whole, girl, I don't got no friends, girl, you can't trust these women, girl. Yeah. I be by myself, or all of their friends are men. Yeah. That's the problem for me. Yeah. Because it's one of the two.
Something not right.
Either you got an issue, because baby, everybody don't want to be like you. Yeah. Everybody don't want your man. Yeah. Okay. Everybody ain't trying to be jealous of you. Yes. Like, sometimes we get so caught up in who we are that we don't know how to listen and learn from other women. Yes. You don't necessarily have to be black women, but it is very, very, very dominant in our community, where you have this whole competition, and it's just not about competition. We work together, we thrive together, we build together, we support each other, build community. You know, because as long as she know you ain't hating on her, and she's not hating on you, like, man, y'all can go out there and conquer the world together.
Really good. Yeah.
I mean, now if somebody cross you,
that's one thing.
That's one thing.
Yes.
But if you just meeting somebody and they introduce you through mutual friends, you know, or whatever. Maybe y'all were at the park and, you know, end up having something in common. Maybe y'all got kids, you know, they play around each other or whatever. And you see this, she has like interests just like you. Foster the relationship.
Yeah.
Do coffee.
Yeah.
Do a ladies' night. Go to a lounge. Hang out. Do some girl chat and really see if it's a relationship that can be cultivated over time. Because that can end up being, you know, a godsend. She can either be someone that helps you in this area just for a season, or she can even be a lifelong friend. You know. So I'm very cautious about women who are on that whole, I don't have no female friends. But then I also have to be careful too when you have so many friends.
Yes.
To where you don't know who you are because your identity is caught up in all of your friends
all
instead of
people that are surrounding them.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I just feel like it's always a balancing act.
Yeah.
But when you know your worth, you're able to identify, and there's gonna be that voice inside of you that we were all given, which is our intuition, that will give us those red flags. That will give us those little notices like, girl, you need to stay at home tonight.
Yeah.
I know y'all been partying and she knew and y'all been hanging out and all that stuff, but you need to stay home. Yeah. You look at your house. Your house needs some cleaning. Mm-hmm. You know, you need to do things. You got deadlines you need to meet. You haven't met them yet. Like really being accountable. You know, for yourself. But that comes with self-worth. Self-worth is so important. So that would be the main thing I would say is really tap into self-worth, and then, you know, look at the relationships that surround you, and then also just focus on your vision of what you want, because just because you're in a situation right now that may not be the best, it may be unhealthy, that doesn't mean that it's going to be like that forever. Absolutely. So what are you going to do to take steps to get to, you know, that next of what you visualize, what you see? What are those steps going to look like? And then how is your support along the way? Right? So, and then of course tap into spirituality. I think, you know, whatever you decide, whatever you choose to believe in, I think that will give you that core foundation, you know, to be able to kind of shut everything down and just kind of reset.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I am so thankful once again for Miss Tami Latrell for having this conversation with me. One of the things she did tell me when I walked the door is she is looking for interns. So you want to tell people how they can find you?
Yes. So you guys can learn more about my company at mezzoagency.com. We are looking for interns right now. I am looking for ambitious people. They don't necessarily have to be students, but I would prefer students because usually they can get credit or something like that in exchange. Okay. But I have taken students who were even grad students who were taking a break and they just kind of wanted to stay busy and learn more about the business. Okay. But if you have a desire to learn about the business of music, okay. You know, I am welcoming. We're here in Atlanta. I'm welcoming of people who really want to come in and learn, and also, you know, just be around an environment that we listen to music all day. We vibe to music all day. But
she was vibing when I walked in.
But we understand the importance of advocating for songwriters and producers, music creators as a whole, because you don't necessarily have to be a songwriter. You can be a musician and you come into our office saying, hey, I just need to get my business together. We are serving. This is a service. So even though, you know, we are a business that is for profit, you know, this is a passion for me. And I would want people that come in to work to have that same desire. You don't necessarily have to know a lot about what I do, but you have to have a heart to serve. Absolutely. Because these, we have music creators who are dealing with so much. A lot of them are, you know, got hit hard with the pandemic, not being able to tour, not being able to go on shows, so not being able to go in the studios because things were shut down. And so our job at our agency is to help find those unclaimed monies, and we're collecting that for them and distributing it to them. So you just have to look at it like, hey man, when you playing with people's money, you gotta do right by them, period, point blank. You gotta do right by people, period. But when you dealing with people's money, you definitely need to have your ducks in a row, be professional, and have a heart to serve and really help them, because that's just not the area that they know. Absolutely. You know? So I do a lot of empowerment, education. So anyone who comes as an intern, they will walk away with so much knowledge. And you know, it's just a great opportunity. So I'm accepting resumes. You hear that? You guys can email me at Tami, Tami at mezzoagency.com.
So Miss Tami is looking for resumes. Last week, the young lady that I spoke with, she was looking to hire. So you guys are being able to get all these great connections right here on our IG. So we are going to shut it down. I want to say thank you again. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
More importantly, I hope that you ladies took something from this. And once again, I want you guys to realize that you are not alone. And so definitely take the time to do some healing, just to get yourself aligned. And what's for you is going to come.
What's for you is for you, boo.
Yeah. All right, guys. Have a good night. We about to hang out in the ATL. Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh.